The engine hummed softly as I cruised down the desolate highway, the only companion being the eerie silence of the night. The darkness enveloped the road ahead, broken only by the faint glow of my headlights. It was past midnight, and I was alone, lost in my thoughts in the labyrinth of winding roads. As the miles rolled by, a sense of unease crept over me, like invisible fingers tracing icy patterns down my spine. I tried to shake off the feeling, chalking it up to fatigue in the late hour. But deep down, I knew something was not right. Suddenly, a figure appeared on the side of the road, barely illuminated by my headlights. A hitchhiker, perhaps? My heart skipped a beat as I debated whether to stop or keep driving. Instinct told me to keep going, but guilt gnawed at my conscience. I slowed down, hesitating for a moment before finally coming to a stop beside the stranger. He was tall and gaunt, with hollow eyes that seemed to pierce through the darkness. His presence sent shivers down my spine, but I rolled down the window nonetheless. "Need a ride?" I asked, my voice trembling slightly. The man nodded, his expression unreadable. Without a word, he climbed into the passenger seat, and I resumed driving, my nerves on edge. The silence between us was suffocating, broken only by the sound of the tires against the pavement. I stole glances at the man beside me, his features obscured by the shadows. Who was he? Where was he going? Questions swirled in my mind, but I dared not ask. Instead, I focused on the road ahead, my grip on the steering wheel tightening with each passing mile. As we continued our journey, strange things began to happen. I caught glimpses of figures darting across the road, disappearing into the darkness as quickly as they had appeared. A chill swept through the car, despite the heater blasting at full force. It was as if we were not alone, as if something sinister lurked just beyond the reach of my headlights. I glanced at the man beside me, but he remained impassive, his eyes fixed straight ahead. Did he sense it too? Or was I simply losing my mind? Suddenly, a loud thud echoed through the night, jolting me out of my reverie. I slammed on the brakes, my heart pounding in my chest as I scanned the road ahead. There, lying in the middle of the highway, was a deer, its lifeless eyes staring blankly into the abyss. I turned to the man beside me, panic rising in my throat. "Did you see that?" But he was gone. I blinked in disbelief, my mind struggling to comprehend what had just happened. How could he disappear so quickly? And where had he gone? A sense of dread washed over me as I realized I was alone, stranded on a deserted highway in the dead of night. I reached for my phone, trembling fingers fumbling with the buttons as I tried to dial for help. But there was no signal, no lifeline to the outside world. I was truly alone. With trembling hands, I stepped out of the car, the cold night air biting into my skin. The silence was deafening, broken only by the distant howl of a lone wolf. I scanned the darkness, searching for any sign of the man who had vanished into thin air. But there was nothing. Desperation clawed at my chest as I stumbled back to the car, the headlights casting long shadows that danced in the night. I had to get out of here, had to escape this nightmare before it consumed me whole. I started the engine, the roar filling the silent night as I sped down the highway, away from the darkness that threatened to swallow me whole. But no matter how fast I drove, I could not escape the feeling of being watched, of being hunted by something unseen and unknown. And as the first light of dawn broke through the horizon, I knew that I would never forget the horrors of that fateful night, the night when a simple drive turned into a descent into madness.